you.
Hi. Great to see you, honey.
Good to meet you.
What do you think of the...
Oh, look at the, I know you're out there, I can smell cow vagina was everything that just brought me in.
You know
Love it all.
You know what that's from?
What is it from?
Well, first of all, this is called Club Random because everything in here is so random.
It is, but it goes.
Well, yeah. It's like everything that didn't fit in my real house wound up here. And then at some point, like, I've had this place for like almost 20 years. It became like a Club Random.
Yeah. But that's funny
from
you
a
say that
movie.
because like I know I was mentioning to like your producers that there's a lot of little idioms inside of this place that I actually own, like this.
I have producers? What is, well,
What are
this
they
is
then?
news to me. I thought I was just coming, I live next door, right?
Yeah, they were telling me.
Did you get a drink?
Yeah.
Or you have a drink?
Yeah, I'm doing
I need a drink.
sulfate-free red wine.
You what?
Sulfate-free red wine. It's organic.
Sulfate-free.
Yeah, I just learned that
This
sulfates in the wine is what causes those wine hangovers.
I mean, I'm always sympathetic to health stuff. I'm very health conscious.
Oh, really?
And, fuck. I mean, like, even this, as I pick up a bottle of fucking
But
tequila,
you do have the Mountain Valley water.
Very
health conscious
stevia.
of you.
Yes, I'm sympathetic, certainly, always to anything that, like, could this improve my health? And, maybe sulfates in the wine. It also sounds like something that could have just been made up by a bunch of chicks on the West Side.
Exactly. I mean,
it's just a white, it sounds very white.
Like, who has to know? I mean, I was just reading something like...
Not that the whites are bad people. We've done very fine things.
Right. But no, I was just like reading something yesterday about beeswax candles. And apparently they're natural, the nature's natural air purifier because they release negative ions that link to air pollutants. But who's to know? Maybe the whites just made that up.
You know that people are listening to this and saying, these fucking Californians.
Exactly.
You remember that sketch on SNL, the Californians?
I do.
I mean, and I've always been a booster of California. Like, they always hated me in the New York press because I was like, no, I like California.
Yeah.
I mean, greatest city in the world for you.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Are you from California?
No. I'm from New York.
Oh, okay.
That's why that's pissed off about it because most people moved here and they were like, oh, I miss the intellectual climate and I miss the artistic climate. And I was just like, what about the climate?
Yeah, I know.
Like, as soon as I moved out here, I was like, oh, it's January. And I'm like not freezing.
Yeah, and I'm laying by the pool.
You had me
I'm getting my vitamin D. How long have you been in LA?
1983. I was 27. I had just done 2 Tonight shows. So I was like, that's what we did. It's like, time to move to California. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, so how did you get on the Tonight Show?
You're a funny comic in the clubs, and they come scout, and, they're aware of it's their business. When I was a kid, there was only a few new comics a year. There was not very often. Then when I got into it, every idiot who ever told a joke wanted to be. So it was kind of like getting into a marathon where you have to wait for, a lot of the people who are going to be puking on the side of the road.
Right.
It was a very crowded field. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So there was a million comics, but they would still come into the clubs and they would see, and you could tell who was, going somewhere usually.
Yeah, totally.
And then you'd go on with Johnny Carson and it'd be like the biggest thing in the world. Your, bar mitzvah as a show business person, and hopefully he'd give you the old.
Right. So, here we go. We're making it happen.
Which now they made into a white power symbol. I mean, I don't think it really is, but they say that.
They say that is, and what's funny is that in social media, TikTok culture, if you do this symbol somewhere when somebody's taking a picture, it's like, oh, I got you, I owe you a punch.
That's what
So you it's like a game. And then shortly after that, it became a white power symbol. So I know a lot of my friends were doing that, got attacked, it was a whole thing. But I didn't know you started as a stand-up comic.
Well, Johnny Carson must have been in the Klan because he was always going, and you wanted that so badly, just to get the old approval.
The approval.
That's funny stuff.
Yeah, but I also feel like this symbol started as the okay symbol.
It is.
And then it morphs
It still
into
is.
other things.
It's not. They just made something up to like catch people.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
after you've already been doing it, it's a whole.
They wonder why,
beast.
so many people these days are like, Bill, why are you so hard on the left these days? I'm like, I'm just as hard on the right. It's just that the left didn't used to do these things that make me go, fuck off.
Yeah.
Mind your own business and just stop being such a busybody and an ass.
Now you're polling.
Right. Like, stop being such an asshole about things. Why am I going on that game?
And like, where did this come from? Who started this, too? Because it's been happening for so long.
Just catching people at the guy on the Jeopardy. Did you see that? One of the guys who was like, I think he won like 3, I don't know. I don't watch Jeopardy. And why the media is like obsessed with this show. I mean, they cover it like it's national news. This blows my mind. Like,
I know.
Whatever's going on Jeopardy, it's like, I have to know.
I mean, the demographic, like the only demographic I know that watches it religiously, my 90-year-old grandmother. Right. So I'm like, who else are you reaching?
No, and I love the concept because I love that there are people who still care about knowing things. And that's a show about knowing things. Mm-hmm. My show's that way too.
Yeah.
Anyway, but they're much more serious and those people are geniuses. And the guy was like, I guess he won 3 weeks in a row or something. So he was just saying 3, like the players do when they make a 3-point shot. They had to make some sort of, it's just a way to say, instead of, I guess you go that way or that way. And then they said he was doing that. And I think he was just saying I won 3 times.
No. So they're making it into that.
Right. They made the Jeopardy guy into the Klansman.
Oh, gosh.
And it's like...
Yeah, at that point, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you, Bill. I'm definitely with you on that.
Well, good, because if you're not, you get thrown out of Club Random. Let me say it.
I know, my mom's here.
I will get a bouncer over here.
Oh, no, I love, I had no idea I would ever be able to meet you. My parents are a really big fan of your show. Well, they watch it every week. I
always love to hear that. I'd be even more flattered if it was your grandmother because older people are generally wiser.
Oh, yeah.
So, because they've lived longer. Mm-hmm. Hate to break it to you kids.
I know.
So, the fact that your parents, who I'm sure they seem to have raised a very, very charming, erudite young lady. So, I'm sure they're cool people.
Yeah.
They must be. They like me.
Yeah, of course. What
are they going to think about this?
I mean, I told my mom about it, and she was just like, Who? Who are you? Oh, wow. Okay, well, let me know how it goes. And she just really, didn't really believe it. She didn't really, I don't know. I think she just didn't believe it. I haven't told my dad yet.
Your parents these are the parents you grew up with?
Mm-hmm. I actually, fun fact, I just turned 30 and I just moved out of my parents' house 2 years ago.
On purpose?
On purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You millennials, you love your parents. You're like,
because
they're my best friend.
Who else is going to buy saran wrap? I mean, that's just such a random small task that I always forget. They do my laundry. I can focus on my career.
Right.
Come back. Well, there's salmon on the table.
It's called adulting.
I know.
You're adulting.
So you moved out to California alone?
Wait. No. We're going back to your parents
Okay.
Because they're the ones who love me.
Yeah.
So I love them.
Well, I love you too.
Oh, good. Well, you probably do because your parents, so they're obviously very smart people. People with great taste. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they stayed together as a family unit all this whole time?
Yeah, I mean, they're still together.
That's rare.
Very rare, but also I would always see them together while watching your show. So maybe you are the reason that my parents are still kicking.
Yes, I bring people together.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I give, and then what do? I give a little more.
Yeah.
Because that's cute. So they watch me together. Mm-hmm. And do they argue about it or do they agree about it?
Oh, they agree. They laugh. My mom scratches my dad's back. Everybody's having a great time.
I thought you were going to say his balls. But this is good too. I'll take what I can.
Oh my God. Oh, rough. Imagining that. Sorry, I'm very visual and I just watch that happen.
You don't think your mother still scratches your father's balls?
I hope not. I really hope not. I mean,
why would you hope not? You hate your father?
It's hard. I mean, I obviously wish for love and people expressing their love. But when it's my parents, there's just something that triggers in the back of my throat that just makes me want to throw up.
I just want them to be happy, like all my fans.
Yeah.
So they raised you right on me. That's good.
Yeah,
And you feel like they raised you right?
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm still kicking today.
You're 30. What
Yeah,
do
I'm
you
still
expect? What,
kicking.
you expect to be dead at 28?
I mean,
Kicking.
or
You're,
like, I
you're
mean,
kicking ass. You're doing really
that's
good.
what, put it right there. Yeah, kicking ass at 30. So yeah, I do think they raised me right.
You did stuff with people I'm involved in, attention.
Attention.
I mean, attention is I'm always amazed that it's a underreported on company because it's so successful.
So successful.
And with millennials who want to know what the fuck is up, it's huge.
Yeah.
They get anybody. Matthew Siegel, who's my great friend, been here to Club Random many times, and he founded it and ran it, and they get anybody. Like Obama, can we interview you? Yes.
Yeah, they
Hillary.
got Obama.
The people who are, important and in the know, oh, if I want to reach the millennial audience who are actually going to vote,
Yeah.
not the ones who are asleep in a ditch after being at Burning Man or something, the ones who are actually going to vote, this is where we go to reach them.
Yeah, yeah.
So for you to be
collab
on
with
there,
them.
which I think is a real feather for you.
Yeah, yeah. I really loved working with them because, we collabed on a lot of aspects about like just relatability within science and stuff. I have a science background. So I guess
Right.
that's, a good component of my parents.
You're the hot scientist. You're like Dr. Christmas in you ever see the James Bond movie where, Charlie Sheen's ex-wife. I'm sorry. What was
Denise Richards?
Denise Richards?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
Denise
yeah.
Richards.
Uh-huh.
I forgot. Must be the alcohol. But
As you should.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You worked hard.
but she was like Dr. I think her name was Dr. Christmas.
Oh, okay. And it was in a show?
It was a movie. It was
Oh,
a James
movie, a
Bond
movie.
movie.
Okay,
It's one of
damn.
the. She was one of. This is back in the
Before
day
my
when
time. Yeah.
James Bond was allowed to like fuck hot chicks. That's now they completely pussified him. I mean,
Right.
he on this one, it's so pathetic. He literally takes his girlfriend and her daughter on his mission to save the world. He practically stops off at Target to buy tampons on the way to the underground lair.
No way.
It's because that's this is the woke world we live in.
Right, right.
But back in that day, Dr. Christmas and Denise Richards was
Yeah.
hotter than the sun.
Oh my gosh,
still
yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah.
And but also a brilliant scientist.
I love that.
It's just like you looked at her and went, "That's not really possible," but
Yeah, like,
I'll
no
go
way.
with it. That a brilliant scientist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I just, I don't know. I grew
And
up
what
in
is your science?
Well, I grew up in a small town and I really had no idea like what I'm doing now could even be profitable. I would always think like, okay, yeah, the most money I can make studying would definitely be a doctor. So I'm going to study to be a doctor. And I am, more left-brained, I think. So science did come pretty easy for me. So I double majored in biology and chemistry, and then to be like really competitive in that, field to be accepted to medical school, I did embryonic stem cell research.
Wow.
And so I was just really, really balls deep in it. And,
Right, this is in college?
yeah, in college. And then always had a passion for it. And then, after I graduated, I fell into, what I'm doing now. But still, I'm really always watching TED Talks.
I've heard a lot of like academic research, scientific research is bullshit. I mean, it's so much politics and like a lot
Especially in
of
the
stuff that you
medical
cannot
system,
really
too.
trust what's in studies very often for a variety of corrupting reasons.
Yeah, pretty much like I feel a lot of articles on Google are just kind of paid for and false.
Right.
And there's like, I forget what it is, NHCI or something. There's some like website that actually has legit scientific studies. And apart from that, I really don't believe anything.
There was a senator, I think it was Ron Wyden, who said, if you write a big enough check, you can get any result you want.
Absolutely. I totally
So
agree with that.
that is your memory of it.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with it.
That's sad.
But
So now you play a hot scientist on TV.
yeah, and that's what I did in attention. And so we kind of just collabed on a series. We did a lot of, skits and sketches that, we collabed on and kind of targeted the millennial audience. And so that's how I got involved with them.
Well, look, anything that can engage people, because the distracting level of that fucking phone is just, it's like, I really feel like trying to get anything done. Yes, there are good aspects to it, but basically, I feel like the phone makes you a huge asshole.
Yeah.
Much more passive aggressive. And, you can do things anonymously and ghost people and it just,
then come up with an alibi easily. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And then also like disconnecting from reality too. Like my boyfriend does that a lot where I'm like, hey, like, what do you think about this? And he's just like, then it's just, it's definitely what you're saying.
That's really gross.
It's so right. I hate that.
Really?
I know. So what's like your screen time?
Who is this guy who's looking at his phone while he's...
It's a good point, Bill. Yeah. Maybe we should go to a therapy session right now.
I wonder what your mom and dad are thinking now.
I know.
Now that we finally stopped talking about his balls.
Oh my God. Why do you got to bring it up
let's
again,
go back.
Bill? You keep kind of bringing back that visual in my head.
You're right.
I know 5 more times throughout this. I'm going to keep envisioning it. It's going to be a nightmare.
Okay, that's the last time.
I have nightmares
But I'm
tonight.
still curious about your parents. So what do they do?
So my mom, she's a film editor.
Oh,
she
really?
edits movie trailers.
Oh, wow.
And my dad, he owns a coffee shop.
Your mom edits movie trailers. So she must appreciate the old "in a world" joke, because there was a time when every comic in the world noticed that every trailer started with "in a world."
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
so every comic had a bit about that.
Oh,
I don't
totally.
remember any of them, but it's so true.
Yeah.
So that's what she did.
Yeah, so that's what she did.
the
She actually
in a
has a
world.
lot of those commercials that start with "in a world."
They all do.
Yeah, that I've seen. That's so funny you say that. Wait, so how long have you been in LA?
Right? Still not done with your family.
Okay. Sorry, I have ADD.
See if I approve of your family, and
Okay,
then,
okay.
and then your membership to Club Random will be processed.
Okay, promoted.
If you just see Dimitri
I
out
get the
front.
VIP cabana over there next time.
Isn't that cool? You saw the VIP?
Yeah, it's so sick. I mean, I got a house, so now I'm all into furniture, and I just love it.
Can you read what that sign says at the bottom?
Best friends only.
No, below that.
Below that? Can
Below
you see
that.
You're the one with glasses.
I know, I can't
see that either.
I can't remember. It's something good, though. We'll go over there later.
Yeah,
I promise.
later.
If I can get us in.
Get some binoculars, something
I don't know
like
if
that.
I can get us in, and it's only bottle service. So.
Oh, okay. Love
Do you have
that.
any cash with you?
No, it's 2022.
You don't carry cash?
No way. Do you?
Of course.
Well, actually, the only time I carry cash is after I've gone to the strip club with some of my friends, and they give me a wad of money to throw, and I actually keep half.
Many girls never carry cash. They're always like, somebody will always pay for everything. What do I need money for? Have you seen me? Someone's going to step up.
I guess you're right.
Of course. We're supported by SignalWire. Remember all of those classic sci-fi shows like The Jetsons and Star Trek? They presented a picture of the future where technology would make unprecedented communications experiences possible, like Captain Kirk facing off with Khan from the bridge of the Enterprise. Well, it's 2022, the future is here, but our current tech is a pretty far cry from that idyllic version of what real-time communications could be. That's where SignalWire comes in. SignalWire is an advanced cloud platform for building next-generation communications experiences. Tired of Zoom? So is literally everybody. With SignalWire, you can create your own video communication product with far better audio and video quality that uses less bandwidth and doesn't slow down your users' devices. And with SignalWire, you can completely customize the user experience and integrate it with an existing application or website with ease. Most importantly, you don't have to be Spock to figure it out. Whether you're a developer, product builder, or just someone with a cool idea, SignalWire offers APIs, SDKs, and even copy and paste code snippets to help you make your vision a reality fast. Visit signalwire.com/random to sign up for a free account and get an additional 5,000 video minutes for testing. Go to signalwire.com/random and build what's next in real-time communications. Go to signalwire.com/random. Well, the hot summer months are here, and we need to be proactive about keeping our bodies fueled and hydrated. Making personal hydration a priority can help us feel healthier in our everyday lives. 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you twice as fast and more efficiently than water alone. Plus, Liquid IV products taste great with 10 refreshing flavors like Concord Grape, Lemon Lime, Pina Colada, and Tropical Punch. Liquid IV is perfect first thing in the morning, before a workout, when you feel run down, and especially after a long night out. What's best about it is the easy packaging, and it truly makes you feel better every single day. Liquid IV contains 5 essential vitamins with 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks without all the garbage that's in them. Oh, and here's what's very cool. Liquid IV is on a mission to change the world. For every purchase, they donate a serving to someone in need. To date, Liquid IV has donated over 24 million servings globally. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code RANDOM at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order today using promo code RANDOM at liquidiv.com. I have like 3 drinks a week.
That's good.
Yes.
Wait,
it's
3
very
drinks
good.
total or 3 nights that you're drinking?
3 drinks
Total?
a week.
Good for you.
I save my drink for, people I really like. So
Yeah, oh,
but
I
it is
love
true.
it.
I save my high on alcohol for like when I just a couple of times would really, because it's not good for me.
Yeah.
You know,
no.
any people in this country like to have this idea that like poisons in moderate amounts are okay. And then they're always saying, well, there's not enough. It's like, to me, any amount. I don't know, call me crazy,
Exactly.
but any amount of poison, I'm
100%.
against.
Yeah. And then also.
That's why I'm all for getting the sulfates out of wine.
Yeah, but also to piggyback off of that, I was learning about all that in COVID, and then I watched a TED Talk about alcohol and the effects on you, and it mentioned that red wine is the only alcohol that's neurogenesis neutral. So it's the only alcohol that doesn't kill your brain cells. Then I started being like, oh wow, well I'll just indulge in some wine, and then I would have crazy hangovers. Then I learned about the sulfate-free wine gimmick, but still not good. Not good.
I have to throw a little yellow flag on the brain cells thing. I don't.
But still,
is that a
whenever
real
you read,
thing, though?
Exactly. That goes back to what we were saying. Like what do we actually believe?
Right. I mean, my thing with medicine is always, I look at it, I feel from a more of a, maybe a bird's eye view than what people are like a COVID. They're so like focused mono on COVID. Everything is COVID.
Instead of the whole picture.
And I've always been interested in health. And my overarching theme is that we are at the infancy of understanding how the body works and medicine. If not, they'd have cured cancer and Parkinson's and a million other things.
Yeah.
So just let's be humble about the fact that we don't know. And this thing that you said about like kills brain cells, I've heard that all my life. But I also heard all my life things like metabolism slows with age, and they just found out it didn't. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So when I hear like kills brain cells, I'm like, maybe it's one of those that in a year.
Also, so does breathing.
What does it mean, kills brain
sometimes.
cells? I've been, getting high on one thing or another for a long time.
Yeah.
And I never forget what I'm saying. I've been high on a lot of things for a long time, and I never forget what I'm saying.
Like, really? Like, how high?
No, not high at all. I mean, I'm
a
lightweight as far. I know people who've done so much more. I mean, like
so
everybody.
much more and are still
I
able
didn't
to
get
perform
high on
without the
pot
next
till
day.
I was 19. That's pretty late in the game.
That is really late in the
good.
game.
Yeah.
Especially with this day and
Yeah,
age.
and then that was always, I thought more benign than lots of other things. And, everybody has a little flirtation with cocaine, and then you find out how horrible that is. And, you trip sometimes. Mushrooms, I've done mushrooms, but,
Me too.
I'm much less of a drug addict than people think.
Yeah. But
I'd
also,
like to be.
I think that's probably why, like, you're still crushing the game too. I feel like a lot of people that get like a big, moment kind of fall into that.
Oh, finish it.
So what's your secret? Wait, so what is your secret?
To what?
Like, how have you been able to like still kill it after so many years?
Clean liquor.
Clean
living.
liquor?
Clean living is what I meant to say. I don't know. I'm enjoying myself. I hope I'm killing it. I know I'm killing it for the people who like it. I mean, there's a lot of people who hate me.
Yeah.
But, that comes with it.
Yeah.
And they're wrong. But, yeah, it's, I don't know. I think people in general have a bad attitude about age. As you're in my age range, 60s, 70s, they have because it's a generally unhealthy country and people are not in good health to begin with, they do see a lot of decline in that era and they just assume that and like, I'm sure it'll come for me, but like there's literally nothing in my life that I don't basically do the same way because I never fucking grew up. I never got married, had kids. I didn't go through those packages. Look at me, I'm still here in my fucking man cave with a hot chick.
Yeah.
So, like, my life hasn't really changed. And that's just true of, like, most of the things that I ever did that make me happy, I still do about the same way. So, like, it hasn't caught up to me yet. It will, of course. None of us are immortal.
100%.
But people just have a shitty view. They think you're, like, done at 50 almost.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, a lot of people are not even getting started. I mean, it takes a long time to figure lots of shit out, like women.
Yeah.
That certainly takes a lifetime. Even when I look back, when I think about, like, at 40, I was like, oh, I still had very wrong ideas.
Right.
And, and did, looking back, as douchey kind of things that I would never do today.
Right.
I'm just
saying. I know. I kind of view age as a power. I was thinking the other day, and I wish instead of how old are you, instead of what level are you on? Like, don't you wish I could be like, oh, well, I'm on level 30, and I'm on level however old you are, because it's like leveling up in a game, and it should be like appreciated and praised.
You're right.
And also, like, you're never too old or too young to really start. But do you ever think that you would ever get married?
Well, Mom, this is what Ariana Huffington always says. This is the same for 30 years. Like, Bill, you must get married. You must have children. I'm like, I must not.
Yeah, but still,
like,
you could do whatever you want.
She loves to tell that story about my mother. My mother, when she was 75, I remember I had a little party. I was living in New York doing my first show, which your parents probably watched. You were probably too young for that one, Politically Incorrect. And that's how I got to know Ariana. And so we had a birthday in New York for my mother's, came in on her 75th birthday. I remember I gave her a diamond pin because 75 diamonds, Yeah. And Ariana starts in my mother and like, Bill, you must encourage him to get married. And my mother just went, and in a nice way, but just my mother, she was in World War II. So she wasn't like someone who took a lot of shit or like bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I probably got it from her.
Yeah.
And she just went, Ariana, give it up.
Give it a break. Exactly. Oh, that's
He's
funny.
not going to get married. And that was back then.
Wait, and how old were you then?
Oh, I was in my 30s. I mean, that was probably, that was when I first was on that show. And
so did you ever I know for me, as a...
It's just not right for everybody.
No, totally. For a lot of women, I hate to generalize, but I know for myself, it's like I would love to get married. But now as I'm getting older and I'm meeting men, I'm like, do I really? But did you ever have that feeling or desire too? Or were you always like, no, that's just not
Yes, but I think it was implanted.
I do
like
think it's implanted too.
From aliens. And when I say aliens, I mean the culture implants this idea that there is, look at movies. There's one soulmate, there's one perfect person.
And you're only with that person for the rest of your life.
Well, and also, it's like all the romantic comedies about you have to find, it's like an Easter egg hunt. There's an egg, it's the perfect egg for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to find it, and then you'll be made whole, you'll complete me, and all that crap,
Yeah.
And for some people, it can work out. There are people who have wonderful marriages from the beginning to end. I know them. They would be...
I know them, but it's so few.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
And now, even in my generation, I think that the percentage of, divorces are going
Oh, yeah.
way higher than what they used to be.
It's just, people used to just be a lot more innocent, basically.
Yeah.
Sexually.
A lot less access to a lot of things, too.
Less sexually more innocent and less sharing of their personal and much more decorum.
But also, yeah, they were probably innocent because they weren't seeing as many stuff. They weren't like hearing like crazy parties that's going on.
Guys wore fucking hats and coat and tie at a baseball game.
Yeah, girls are in
baseball game. I mean, people just, took care of themselves. Oh, now it's just the whole country's just a bunch of slovenly slobs, and they
absolutely.
So
the girls are in the long corsets. They can't breathe.
In that atmosphere, it's harder to keep a marriage together. I'm not sure why they're directly related, but I think they are. So what did your father do?
My father, I grew up with him. He had a chocolate factory at the time.
Wait a minute, you grew up with him?
Well, I grew up while he's now doing something different. I grew up while he was doing and handling a chocolate factory. So he's pretty much like Willy Wonka.
And he was with your mother.
They are still together.
Still together.
Always lived in the same house. But yeah, so he was Willy Wonka. He owns endangered species chocolate.
Where was this?
Where?
Yeah.
In Oregon. I grew up in Oregon.
Oregon.
Really small town.
Oh.
But yeah, and then a lot of his proceeds went to endangered animals. It was great. He sold the company, and now he's, kind of retiring off of a coffee shop in Burbank. It's called Base Camp. You should go. It's really cool.
If I'm ever in the need for any kind of
coffee, pastry, wrap.
Any kind of high, I'm gonna write it down for me. I will go there.
Yeah, you should.
Where is it in relation to that big, giant, big boy statue?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's famous.
Yeah.
Bob's Big Boy.
Yes.
Or this
it's
a giant donut.
It's close. Right. It's kind of by Disney Studios.
Disney.
On Riverside.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, heard of them. Yeah.
So your father's Willy Wonka, and your mother is in a world.
Yeah, in a world, yes. And they both love you.
And they both love me, and they love you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they kind of have to.
Yeah. And what do they think about this ascent you've been on? And, how many millions, zillions of followers do you have?
Yeah.
How many?
Across all platforms? Maybe 70 million?
70 million. I mean, that's I always love that term followers, because, it always makes me think of Jesus. Because before social media, who had followers? A guy like him, a guy with a robe and a stick.
Totally, you're the first person to make that correlation. That totally makes so much sense.
And people
people were actually literally in person following him. Now it's just digitally.
You say followers. Jesus is like, hey, you know what? I have followers. I mean, these motherfuckers are literally following
going down the street.
And all I got is a stick in my hand
traffic jam.
And this robe.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what a fucking silver-tongued devil I am. Yeah. I got a stick and a robe and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could ask my dad, hey, Dad, what do you think I do? He could still... I don't fucking know. I have no idea. I just know you make a lot of money. That's it. And so my dad doesn't really, he's like a Greek Armenian kind of hard ass. He doesn't really know.
What do you mean like a Greek Armenian? He's
Greek. He is, but he's just like a hard ass.
All right, now let's talk about the Greeks and the Armenians.
Yeah.
Greeks, like Ariana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Founders of basically Western civilization.
Yeah.
Certainly the country fell on hard times for a couple of thousand years after that, but still a great people.
Great people.
So warm, and
and
they have
their ancestors are gods.
They're what?
Ancestors, right? The Greek gods?
Well, their ancestors believed in God.
Believed in gods, yeah.
They weren't. Zeus himself, I don't think.
You think Zeus was Greek?
Zeus
or identifies as Greek?
Well, Zeus was the Greek god,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you can... something about Europeans in general, you kind of feel that they have centuries of knowledge and history behind them. Mm-hmm. There's just a worldliness
Yeah.
that we don't have as Americans.
Yeah.
You know,
Informative languages. Yeah.
just like people. Again, like more decades, usually you're a little more savvy
Yeah.
about shit.
Totally.
If you're not, you're progressing the wrong way. Mentally.
Yeah. What's your ethnicity background?
I'm a ballerina. No.
And an asparagus.
You're good because you always turn it back.
And I'm genuinely curious.
I know, and that's really a great quality. I mean, when people say someone's charming, what they really mean is they were interested in me.
Everybody loves talking about themselves.
You know who's a bore? Someone who talks about themselves all the time.
Yeah.
But someone who says, and what about you?
Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting.
You're
though.
like, this person's charming as fuck.
Like, wow. I'll talk about myself all day.
Because like, and I feel like with you, it comes from a genuine place. So it just makes me think, oh, well, this is a mensch. This is a decent person because they're not just about you. So let me tell you about me.
Yeah.
Back to me.
Yes.
No, I'm kidding. So I'm from two peoples who got their independence in the 20th century. Two peoples who are both very poetic and were very, had rough histories. The Jews and the Irish. My father was Irish Catholic, of the kind of Irish that came to America in the 19th century. They had a potato famine, and, a lot of Irish came. There's a lot of me. There's a lot of people who, I met many guys who are like, people say I look like you, and I'm like, yeah, you're one of us.
Right,
it's just a little club of this Irish mug,
Right.
So I was raised Catholic, unfortunately. My mother is like, I think Hungarian, Eastern European, Jewish by heritage, but I never even knew she was a Jew till I was 13.
What?
Yeah.
How?
Mom didn't go to church. My sister and my father and I went to church, and my sister and I went to catechism, and I was so scared. And whatever you do with a kid, they think it's whatever is normal. I never even questioned. Mom just doesn't go. I never thought about it. I had other things on my mind, like I fucking hate these nuns. They scare the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That's what I had on my mind.
Yeah.
And so
you didn't know anything different either.
I mean, it just kind of came up at Christmas one year.
Yeah.
When I was 13, I remember.
Really?
I was kind of shocked. Yeah. And then I put it together because, like, her side of the family, but again, they weren't like religious Jews. I've never been in a temple. My mother's never been in a temple, to my knowledge. We're just culturally, and that's really the best part of it.
Yeah.
You don't need the hair things that come down and the fuzzy hats in the summer.
Totally.
And, you don't need this thing. I'm sure.
Dreidel, yeah.
Dreidel, Chico, what a good reference. I'll give you a pound on that.
Yeah.
Dreidel. Now, how do you know about dreidels?
Well, my neighbor's
I
Jewish.
barely know about dreidels.
Yeah, well, my neighbor's Jewish, and I go to their Shabbat every Friday.
Really? See,
Yeah.
I'd never been to that. Religious ceremonies.
Yeah.
I had a bad experience with the Catholics. Not as bad as many.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was never molested.
Right.
And I'm insulted by it. No.
No, that's interesting that you found out about being part Jewish when you were 13. Because I actually found out that I still had living family when I was about, 18 years
What do you mean living family? Oh, that you never met?
that I never knew of. Yeah. So my dad was adopted.
Like who? Oh, really?
Yeah. And apparently this is the word on the street in my family, is that my Greek family was in the Grecian mafia, so they were actually in prison for life. Then I went on Facebook, and then I found my long-lost cousin. It's insane. So I have a whole big family now that I just found.
There's a Greek mafia?
Yeah.
I guess there's everybody's mafia.
Yeah, I think there's.
They must not be very good because they're never in movies.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be a really second-rate mafia. I mean, if you're going to look for a mafia.
They are never in movies.
No,
it's always the Russians.
Russians or other Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
Take in their Serbians and those, not to characterize, but
No, it's
like
so funny
those
you say
kind,
that. I never thought of that.
Eastern European mafias are scary.
Yeah.
I have only the highest respect.
Yeah.
Let me say that on the public record
Yeah.
for the Eastern European mafias.
Yeah.
Only the highest respect. They're a fine mafia.
Yeah, the highest respect.
But the Greek, I never heard of them.
Yeah, Greek, I heard of them when I found out about it all.
And the Armenian side now.
That's like, I know I don't look like it, but you could tell if you saw my leg hair if I didn't shave it.
See? Now that's your version of scratch your father's ball.
Yeah.
I don't need to see that. Think about
Really?
that.
Sure. I have a picture of my legs mid-quarantine.
I take your word for it.
Okay.
We are supported by Wine Enthusiast. In Greek mythology, Dionysus, son of Zeus and his mistress, invented wine while living on an ancient mountain with hundreds of nymphs. He had to because all those nymphs did was talk his ear off. But even the Greeks knew that summer is the time for sharing a nice glass of wine with friends. And whether you're living on a mountain with a bunch of nymphs or just hanging with friends, the summer heat and sunlight can spoil your wine and your good times if it's not properly stored. So, now it's the time to get those bottles out of boxes or off your countertops and protect them with a wine fridge from Wine Enthusiast. Wine Enthusiast designs and offers the largest selection of wine coolers for every drinker, every budget, and every size collection, from 6 to 600 bottles. Plus, expert wine storage consultants are available by phone to help you find the right fit for all your needs. Wine Enthusiast is the premier destination for the wine lifestyle, offering an incredible selection of unique wine accessories, glassware, furniture, wine storage, gifts, and more. I love Wine Enthusiast, and I'm not just saying that because they sent some amazing custom Club Random glassware for me and my guests to use. Visit wineenthusiast.com or text the code RANDOM to 511-511 to check out all of Wine Enthusiast's summer savings. Text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Certain exclusions may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Text fees may apply. Text STOP to opt out. Did you know HBO Max had podcasts? I'm on my podcast talking about the podcasts on my network. This must be what the metaverse feels like. Now go even deeper inside your favorite shows with audio companions to some of the most groundbreaking and award-winning shows on television. Listen to HBO Max's new companion podcast for the original series, The Staircase. Each episode, host Nancy Miller sits down with cast and crew, including actors Colin Firth and Toni Collette, as well as experts to help unpack the science, history, and psychology behind the Michael Peterson case. Stream new episodes of The Staircase on HBO Max and subscribe to The Staircase podcast on all major podcast platforms. How would you characterize the difference between a life presented on Instagram, typically, and that life in reality?
In reality, I guess it kind of varies. If you're talking about influencers or creators, it kind of varies on what kind of creating they're doing or if they're really open, because there's a lot of people that are really open about their own struggles and mental struggles and family struggles and things that they're actually going through, and they present it and they let people know like their mental health, what's going on with them, so people can relate to them. Or there's other categories of people who just flex their bags and vacations,
Right.
and then there's other people who just do comedy bits just to bring happiness to
Right.
already such a negative world.
Right.
So I think I would fall in the category of bringing, a positive light to
Yeah, I don't
social
mean
media,
the
'cause there's already,
pros. I'm talking about just the regular jabonis who are like, who are on it and are like fronting,
yeah,
like
I know.
presenting a.
Oh, and then so it's kind of like Beyonce's like Sasha Fierce, like they like present some, new character whenever the camera's on. Are you saying?
I think so. I mean, like I'm asking you because this is why I love talking to people your age, because I need to legitimately find these things out.
Yeah. I'll tell you.
So I'm interested in the finding out, like, because my impression is that a lot of it is just people, yes, presenting. It's not like they're lying about life too much, but filters, angles, choosing to just show the moments where you're doing great. It seems to be a lot about wanting very badly to have everyone else who's following me think everything's going great. Either that or like endless sob stories about your mental problems.
Right.
But let's just take that other category. The type who want to present this idea.
This facade that's not true. And then they try to make it relatable to their followers. And then their followers are still going through puberty. And they're just like, how can I achieve this?
Here's my deep question for this to you. Why is it important? Why is it important that other people think you're doing great? Why is that so? Shouldn't be so important.
I think that is definitely a topic within social media because social media is so huge. But I feel like that's also been a topic for before social media too. I remember before social media, I was always, going to middle school dressed up, pretending everything's fine.
You were doing this?
Yeah, I was. And I was wearing my cool outfit and like pretending I wasn't just crying on the way here. And so I'm always like, I feel like humans always try to present their best selves.
You're right.
No matter what, but it's easily.
That's so true.
But it's more easily able to see on
exactly.
social media.
Though I said about the phone, it makes you, it's not like you're not an asshole to begin with. It just takes your asshole qualities and exacerbates them. You're totally right. People were always fronting.
Always.
People were always trying to, you just couldn't do it. If you had to go to high school every day, people would see you all day.
Yeah.
You can't fake that.
Yeah.
But you can with a picture.
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of people that, and often a lot of times, I'm guilty of it too, where it's like, oh, okay, cool, the camera's on, like somebody's doing a story. Yeah, we're having so much fun. Yeah, oh, she's so funny, she said this. Cut. And then we immediately just go back to like chilling. So it is like, it's just such an interesting dynamic of how you kind of
You're getting your training as a communicator in a different era of technology than I did when I came up and other people have. But it's the same basic thing. The technology changes. What they will never have too much of is good content. There's more content. It's flooded with it. But
it's insane how flooded it is.
Yes. It's that marathon I was talking about.
Yeah.
You got a marathon too. And at a certain point, a lot of other people will be puking on the side of the road. But I think when, you're going to advance in your career through different media, the way, like you see singers do it, like they're a teen sensation. And then, Lady Gaga now she's 30 or something. It's more like for people that age. You grow with your audience, Is
that what happened with you? Like, I'm wondering, like, genuinely, like, did you ever have a moment, and I know it never stopped you, but did you ever have a moment where you were like puking on the side of the road, like not doing well, creator block?
All of it.
How did you get over it? Like, tell me about it.
I mean, you never did? Like, wow, you're lucky. It went right from,
trust me, I go through creative blocks. I go through like, I have to take a month off. This is rough. Like, I go through
when you were 23, were you doing this? And
that's when
did it go well right from the beginning?
Well, yeah. So, okay, yeah. Switch gears. So, how I started was interesting. It was I was doing my pre-med degree, and my family, while I was in college in the Bay Area, they moved from Oregon to LA, and so any spring break, summer break, winter break, I couldn't go back to where I was from, so I would go back to LA and had no friends. It was just my parents and my pets. And then I also played volleyball in college, so oftentimes I was always at the gym working out for volleyball. And I mean, in the middle of Hollywood, 24-hour fitness, it's just a meat market. I can't meet friends that way. It's always guys like, it's just like, let me work. I'm in the middle of a,
really? That really happened?
Gross. Yeah.
Like that exact thing?
It's just take your earphones out, number. But it's not just once. I go to a workout 20 times. It's insane.
They're starting to treat reality almost like it's Tinder. right?
Yes, it's like even worse. It's worse than it's ever been.
It's worse than it's ever been is the
It's
title
insane.
of this
The
segment.
cat call.
You're
It's
right.
yeah.
It's worse than it's ever been.
But yeah, like
I always love to
who
hear.
raised you? Yeah.
By the way, I do. It always amuses me to hear attractive women talk about like episodes of guys hitting on them.
We can do
'Cause
another episode of this, Phil. I'll talk an hour straight about it.
It's endless comedy.
Yeah, and it is comedy too, like how guys
It's-
think that this would definitely work. But the things they say are absolutely absurd. But back what I was saying is I was at the gym. A guy was with his girlfriend, so green flag. They come up to me, they say something funny, I say something funny back, I forget what it was, and they say, hey, you're funny, you should come out and Vine with us tomorrow. And Vine, it's RIP Vine, but it's
Yeah, I remember.
non-existent now.
I remember Vine.
Yeah, so it was 6-second videos.
Yep.
And I
Too
thought that
long,
was just so
I felt.
too long.
I was like, please, I'm a busy man. 6-second videos. What? You think I'm just sitting
Right.
around in my underwear eating Cheetos all day with nothing to
Right,
do?
yeah. But yeah, so I just thought Vine was cat videos on the fly. I didn't understand that people actually scheduled to Vine. So how I got into it was, oh, cool friends other than my parents and pets. And so I Vined with them and they shot a few Vines. I kind of saw how they did it, saw the ideas they did. Then I came up with some concept. It was 9 years ago. It's one of those relatable ones, guys checking out girls versus girls checking out guys.
Facebook.
So the girl.
That's how Facebook started.
Yeah. And so the girl, you know, is like, sees the guy walk by. They're like, oh, he's so cute. And then the girl walks by. The guys are like, damn, Shorty's fine. And jumps on my back. And then, and like really aggressive with it, like what we were saying. And then through that video, it actually went viral. And I got 100,000 followers in one day. And then
Top that, Jesus.
yeah, top that. And so my friend was like, hey, you have a fan base now. You owe it to your fans to come out with more content. We're Vining tomorrow
So you
at
built
11
on your
a.m. sharp. Come with 3 ideas.
Brilliant. You built on your base, and you built 100,000.
I built 100,000, but
into-
I was still like, great, this is, at least I can just have friends. I never knew this would be something I could generate revenue from. And so that's why I continued to go to college. That's why I graduated. I was
I
taking
will
a year off.
never fully understand like all of this because I'm not that interested in like.
Well, yeah, it's already
social
like
media,
such a beast, and
but-
you're already such a beast in
No,
your
no, no.
field.
It's not that. It's just that, like, something has to come to me, and when I saw you on Attention, that's when you came to me, like an angel from above, and I was like, oh wow, that's very smart. And I'm telling you, and you know, you're 30 now, and you could be like hosting the CBS Evening News when you're 40 or 40. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying you're going to graduate to other things in media. Because you know you're smart, you know you can handle it.
Yeah.
It's great.
So after you were a stand-up comic, like when did you?
And you have that natural instinct, that interviewer's instinct to go right
But
back.
I'm really wondering, like,
Tell-
what was your process after you broke out of or did the stand-up comedy, did interviews? Like,
when we
what was
first
your
were,
process?
when we all first started at the clubs in New York in the early '80s, we wanted to get on a sitcom. That was the big thing, and many of us did. I did. Jerry Seinfeld did. Everybody wanted. That was it. You were a comedian. You did Johnny Carson, and then they saw you on Johnny Carson. They put you on a sitcom like Roseanne and Freddie Prinze and all these people, and Robin Williams, and then you became a big star from being on a sitcom. That's what was in our mind when I was 23. Then that changed over the time, you know, and then I did sitcoms and I was like, no, this is not what I'm really cut out to do. So then there was a little period like where I was really wandering in the wilderness, you know, like I had done sitcoms and thought I was going to be like a, you know, the sitcom funny guy actor. And it's like, no. And then, you know, show business is always partly luck. You know, Comedy Central was a new network. They needed a show and I had a good idea for a show. And then that's really, but I was always meant to do what I'm
Wait, so
doing. I mean, it was a waste of me as an actor because I'm not that great an actor. and I'm much better at this, and it's much more unique. And they could get another guy to play the office creep.
Yeah.
I was in TV Guide once on my first sitcom, and it was like the show was premiering, and they had the 4 characters. Gina Davis was the lead, became a big star. Alfre Woodard, Bronson Pinchot, and a little thing under each of our to tell the audience who we were, and under my name it said the office creep, because that was the character. And it was good because that was the funny one. The other ones, they didn't give the other ones that funny lines. They were just normal. Yeah, they were normal people, and I was the office creep.
No, my Bill Maher was the office
Yeah, you can
creep.
look it up. You can.
That's so funny.
You can Google YouTube it.
I will. And I will when I get home.
Get out your magic light box.
Yeah.
You have your magic light box with you?
Sorry, I don't even know. What is a
That's
magic?
your phone.
Oh, magic light box.
That's what I call the phone.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, it is. See, it's right there. You would never leave it.
Yeah, it's right here. I lose everything except my phone.
You don't call it the magic light box?
No. Okay, wait. So, what was the show you pitched to Comedy Central? Was it the show?
Politically Incorrect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, there was some years there where it was like tough because I was done with one form of my, as a snake sheds its skin. Not that I'm a snake, a caterpillar. Let's pick something nicer. Yeah, I became a butterfly, whatever. But there was a time, and that happens in many careers, where you have a down point before you come back up. Mm-hmm. Even Frank Sinatra, who was the biggest star in the world as a singer in the 40s, couldn't get arrested in 1950. And then he had a comeback. Mm-hmm. That's part of the plot of The Godfather.
Yeah.
They got him the part in the movie,
Right.
And so...
Okay, so in that downfall of yours, that's when you did the show with...
It was good that I did not... It's just good that I did not get on a sitcom that was a hit, because then I would have been the office creep for life.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And maybe the audience would not have accepted me as, something which, is more like, well, not more like, it's exactly what I think. Mm-hmm. And who I am.
Right.
I mean, my whole...
But like your ability to evolve is what made you
what you
are today. And also any successful person really always evolves in what they do.
I hope. I mean, my whole career and mindset has been from the beginning, the thing I really wanted to do is to get on camera for the audience exactly what talking to me is like in reality. Mm-hmm. Because most of TV is just sickeningly fake.
Yeah.
You just want to gag. Mm-hmm. I do. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
And I get as pretty close on Politically Incorrect and then Real Time. And but like, I can't get closer than this.
Yeah.
Me getting drunk at my own house. I can't.
I love it. I love it.
I cannot get closer.
Yeah.
It's been a lifelong struggle to get to this exact moment.
I love that for you. Okay, so tequila's your favorite. Did you ever is it your favorite?
Yes.
Nice. Me too. Hard alcohol, that's my favorite too.
So.
Wait.
So what?
Sorry.
How much? But you seem like you're very much into health. I mean,
yes.
you look like you are because you look very healthy.
In COVID, I got I got into health and wellness, and
Good.
so I'm following what the health and wellness community is doing. I'm doing
exactly what you should have done.
The Mountain Valley water.
The best way everybody could have protected themselves from having a bad result with COVID was by getting in better health to begin with.
Better health, better shape.
When you're in good health to begin with.
And better mindset, too.
Well, mindset is part of your health.
And
very much so.
I didn't even know this. I wasn't even taught in school that I learned in college, but, I had no idea the negative effects that stress has on your body, too. Which is just so insane to me. And so,
it can kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. It could cause autoimmune diseases, cancer.
Of course. Well, medicine is such a complex amalgam of factors like stress, but also toxic pollutants that are around us, which are in everything. It's in the food. It's what you eat. But yes.
It's in perfume.
Yeah, it's in
candles.
furniture.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in that kind of world. And then there's factors we're not sure of. I mean, electromagnetic energy. I'm not sure the phone is great, having all that,
Oh, that's
all
why
that
I
electromagnetic
have
energy.
this thing I put on my
Yeah.
phone. It's supposed to like block the EMFs.
You know what? That's called
I don't know.
That's called an amulet.
Yeah.
It's like a little thing you wear around your neck to ward off evil, but it has no actual
I know,
effect.
but I'm trying,
I
Bill.
know.
I'm
I know.
trying.
But that's what a lot of masking was during the, not all,
Yeah.
some masking was totally appropriate, but some of it was just an amulet. No,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
going to ward off this evil. And it's like, you know what?
So are you
right.
are you like dairy free or gluten free, or did you change your diet?
Well, gluten, I'm not sure. That, again, may be one of those things that started in a book club.
Yeah, or just in
I mean,
LA,
it's a real thing. I just don't think it affects like nearly the numbers. It's just one of those things that liberals, boy, when they want to jump on a, excuse me, I had the crabs for dinner. No, that was the chair. When they want to jump on some shit.
Oh, they do.
But
yeah.
like basically, it's bigger than gluten. I don't eat bread.
Oh, you don't?
Bread is not good for you. I'm sure, I hope we don't have a bread sponsor for this show, but I don't think so. But I mean, at least that's what I think. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not dispensing medical advice. Don't fucking flip your wigs, even though a lot of what I said, comedian, was more right than what the fucking, official people said. I said right from the beginning, stress, sugar, sleep, the 3 S's. There's a bug going around. Stop eating sugar, get enough sleep, don't stress. They did exact opposite. Locked themselves inside and overate.
And then stayed up all night looking at the phone.
Stressed their minds out about something that was, yes, a real thing and could be a dangerous thing, but hyperventilating was not necessary for most people.
Yeah,
and
traveling
no sun,
to Utah in the middle of the...
Lack of vitamin D.
Huge.
Huge. One of the other things I said from the beginning, vitamin D, and now I just saw there was a study that says, yes, most of the people who've been dying from this COVID have been lacking in vitamin D.
Have you also
It's not
heard...
rocket science. It's not like I'm a genius scientist who made that up. I know doctors and I read stuff, and it's like obvious. Vitamin D is key, and we are depriving ourselves of it with this.
Yeah, I recently did like a breath test and a blood test just to see my levels, and I'm like severely deficient in vitamin D. And I also heard about this other study, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but there's this doctor that was talking about how a lot of people aren't able to process vitamin D from the sun. And so they actually have to take supplements.
Right, but you need the sun to convert it. That's it. And the sun is not the enemy. People have they demonize things in medicine these days.
Skin cancer.
Well, it can give you, yes, of course, anything you can kill yourself drinking too much water. But, basically, you need some sun. And if the sun is not horrible for you, and maybe some of the stuff that's in sunblock is not great for you. I think I saw that study recently. Again, one of those
carcinogens.
What else don't you know? What else did you get wrong?
Right.
Stop looking at me with the white coat and the stethoscope like, when have we ever been wrong? A lot. Just have some fucking humility about it.
Exactly. It's always been trial and error.
Damn it, you have me yelling again. All right, I have to... This was more fun than a battle of monkeys. This was so great,
Bill. I love talking with you. We could go on for hours.
We could. When I like a millennial, I really like millennials. I do. Not the majority of them, but like the good ones, like the third that they come to my shows, and I know they're good ones because they know this isn't a safe space. But when they're not pussies, they're great.
Yeah. You're not a pussy either, and I respect you, Bill.